everybody. Larry, Fort Worth Memories Museum and Groups, and YouTube at Fort Worth Memories. That camera is off. So another one of our cameras drops off. Unbelievable. These cheap cameras ain't no good. We're gonna have to go back to the Mebos. Hold on, I want to send Scott another message. One minute. I get absolutely too many messages every day. Okay, so I guess I'm on YouTube. Let me find it and share it to Facebook. As y'all can tell, I'm not a professional nerd. Is that it? That's it. So I'm going to tell everybody good morning. Monty is in. And I am in. Share it to the internet and share it to memories, videos, and messages. Okay. Hope everybody out there is doing okay. It's going to be right in the 90s. I think they said it's going to cool off a little bit. But I mean, it's still going to be in the 90s. What difference does that make? Karen is in. We are eating tomorrow at Parton's Pizza on Cherry Lane, 1 o'clock. Everybody's welcome. So we're down to 2 cameras again. Out of 5, we keep 2 working. I think we ought to bundle this stuff up and send it back to Amazon. I mean, surely they're not supposed to go out that often to where you got to reprogram it or whatever he does. Brittany's in. James is in. Scott's sending me a message. He's got some big event starting. I guess it starts today. They rented the Arlington Convention Center. Something computer deal. Good morning to everybody. I don't know, did the Rangers play yesterday? I'm trying to get caught up here on the Rangers, see if they're going to make it to the playoffs. Texas Rangers baseball. Nope, they got beat 6-0. And their record is 52-53. I don't think they're going to make it. But Texas is 5.5 games out. Houston's in the lead. Seattle's only 4.5 games out. Well, come on, Rangers. We're still rooting for you. Do any of y'all remember the old Turnpike Stadium? Now, I'll tell you, this is how broke I was. we'd go and you could sit in the outfield. There was no seats out there though. You sit on the ground. And they had 25-cent beer night, and me and my crew was there start to finish. Half my guys would fall asleep out there. Just, it's ridiculous. But that's when I first started watching our local team. I guess they were called back then the Spurs, weren't they? Or was that not right? I don't think they were called the Texas Rangers back then. That was the stadium on the Turnpike. I mean, it was called Turnpike Stadium. It was a lot of fun. Just, I don't think we had a very good team. Heck, I don't even remember watching the game. It was kind of like a social event. But, you know, we have won a World Series. We're fortunate. Our Metroplex here has won a Super Bowl. Well, we've won the Super Bowl, what, 5 times. They won an NBA championship, the Mavericks. Isn't that the only one they've ever won? And then the Rangers have won a World Series. So, you know, a lot of people complain, me number one, about Dak Prescott and how terrible I think he is. There's a lot of big cities, not as big as ours, that don't have any sports, don't have any professional sports. So really, and I complain about Jerry, but you know, he never, up until this year, he's never really balked on the price. I don't know what his issue is not signing that Micah Parsons. I told y'all though that Dak Prescott would not make the whole season. He's already out. Another brilliant move by Jerry Jones. There's a rumor going around that Roger Staubach bought into the team. I fact checked it. There's no factual information that he did that, so we'll wait till Roger Staubach would come out and say it. They'd have a presentation about it. Trinity River Agency looks to new role in Panther Island meeting schedule. I've never been on board for Panther Island. Never. I mean, it's good for the city, but I've just never been on board for it. Fort Worth Police handle incident on Heron Drive. Yeah, who was the one that got shot over there? That's where the castle is, on Heron Drive. Why do I have to have all these little things pop up? I wouldn't have thought, I thought that would have fallen under Lake Worth. The 8100 block of Heron Drive, that's only, the castle is 9113, I think. It's going to be close to the castle. They shut Heron Drive down. This must have been some kind of a, I don't know what it was. Okay, so much for that. Anybody knows anything, send me a message. We got a lot of members that live right there by. Well, Kamala Harris is going to write a book, and she's not going to run for the governor, not going to run for the president. Here's an article, Save Your Money. Here's the story. She was put in only because she was the only one who could use Biden's war chest. I'd heard that now from several people. I don't know why that was, but She went through a lot of dough. Biden is speaking at a national bar, or spoke at a National Bar Association gala in Chicago. I wonder if he got through without any mess-ups. What Hitler planned to do with the United States if he had won World War II? That's a moot point. He didn't win. What's the big deal about Troy Aikman's daughter? Rare photo of his stunning daughter, 23. Okay. I think my daughters are stunning. We don't have rare photos. Well, yeah, they are rare. I keep my family off social media. Or, I mean, off of... Some of them are on it, but not all of them. Okay, so now this vote is coming up that everybody tells me, don't worry about it, they're just going to rename it. This DEI vote is coming up next Tuesday. So here's what I think, or my interpretation of it. If the mayor and city council don't vote to, in other words, if they kill the DEI program, or some of it, all of it, whatever, then that's what the Trump administration wants, and we get $277 million over a course of years. If they go against that and say, no, we're keeping our deal, the $277 million goes away, is what I've been told. Now, everybody told me, when I reached out to different people, they said, Larry, don't worry about it. It's just theatrics. And I said, what do you mean? Said our mayor and city council or our city manager are just going to rename the programs. Do they think that the Trump administration is stupid? I drive a maroon truck, I call it Brandywine. If I pull up to your office and you say, well, what are you driving? So I'll be looking for you. Brandywine, maroon truck, burgundy. And you pull up and he said, yeah, I saw you. I said, that's not really a Brandywine truck, it's a white truck. I mean, I don't understand it. So, mayor and city council, if any of y'all would like to come on my show and talk to me about it, talk to us, we'd love to have you. It does affect every person in Tarrant County and Fort Worth, and so I admit I'm not knowledgeable about what it is. If somebody wants to come on that can talk civilly and not go bonkers, either right or left, I want to know what the real deal is. Are they really gonna cut off all of this help they give to small business, minority businesses, all of this other stuff, or are they just renaming it and gonna try to fool the Trump administration, which I don't think is gonna work. But, you know, I'm not saying that's what it is, I'm just saying that's what I've been told. So I wish somebody would explain it to me. Brittany is in, James is in, Karen's in, Ginger's in, Monty's in. Do any of y'all know what that deal is? It's an important deal. The last city council meeting was in June. They took off the month of July. So they kicked it down the road to next Tuesday. What is what other cities are doing? I mean, I don't understand. What are their other cities doing? See, George says, I think it's business as usual under a new name. I don't think that's going to fly. Y'all might say that Trump is this or that. One thing he's not is stupid. If they're trying to play a game with the administration and hoodwink them for $277 million, that's going to be a mistake. So I can talk to somebody about it today. In fact, watch this. Here's the deal. I'm going to send Bud Kennedy a message, see if he'll come on today. That man can tell us. Let's get it straight from Bud Kennedy. Bud, can you come on this morning? And let's get Ann Zeta or somebody. Bud tells me he's Republican. Everybody else says he's Democrat. I don't know what he is. I know one thing he is very knowledgeable about everything that goes on in this city and county. But I would like to know what the real deal is. They're real hush-hush about it. Oh, we're going to vote on that after our 1 month vacation. I don't get a month's vacation. Do y'all get a month's vacation? This is city business, people. Y'all represent us. I don't know how many people gave the city council a permission slip to take a 1 month vacation. I know y'all work hard. You've got a lot of stuff on your plate, but we're the ones that are paying for it. And if they're trying to hoodwink us, that ain't going to work. Because I'm going to put it out there. And I'm sure the mayor and city council doesn't like that, but let's have the real deal. Tell us what's going on. I'm going to wait for Bud to respond, and then I'll see if Ann Zeta will come on. Or anybody that's knowledgeable, that holds some kind or used to hold some kind of city or county office, come on. That's an important deal coming up, and we want to know the answer. I want to know the answer. Brittany says they're renaming it. George, municipalities they're real good at concealing stuff and renaming it. So is the person running the country. He might be the king of it. Don't underestimate Donald J. Trump. I think that dude stays up at night trying to figure out who's trying to hoodwink him. But I want to know, and I hope y'all want to know. While we're waiting on Bud to answer, and he might not answer immediately, let's do our sponsors, and let's start middle of the page. Fort Worth Lumber Company. They're down on I-35 South. Hold on, another phone here. They're texting me. Where was I? Fort Worth Lumber, I-35 South. I have to talk to one of the only cameras I've got. Building materials, building plans. You want to just go down there and talk to people that are very knowledgeable about building. Fort Worth Lumber, I-35 South. Phelps Family Auto Care. They're in the Burleson area. They do a great job. They've got a lot of customers in both Burleson and Fort Worth. Varghese Somerset is our legal sponsors. They've got about 25 or 30 sponsors that are very, very good. A couple of them, 2 or 3 of them, we've interviewed. Tiffany Burks, I've interviewed her. The person that I've interviewed more than anybody is Manny Ramirez. Coming in second is Tiffany Burks. Christy Jack has been on. So that firm has done, they can do suing somebody or a capital murder. Fort Worth Florist, Jeanette and her team have sent flowers all over the world for our members. Stroud Auto Supply, Haltom City of Riverside area. Eric Walsh is on our board of directors at Larry's Kids. He's in the real estate business and a developer, and he's a good guy. Tri-State Dent. Thank you. Tri-State Dent. Jason and his team, they come to you. They work with you on your deductible if it's at all possible. They do door dings, hail damage, minor dents. They do it all. Boom Bond, that's capital B-O-N, M, B, capital B-O-M, capital B-O-N, one word. Mark Perez. He does remodeling, residential, commercial. This gentleman and his team can do it all. Some people call him handyman. He can do anything. Just call him and have him come out. Our Medicare and Medicaid sponsors are American Senior Benefits of North Texas. And that would be Mr. Andrew Wallace and Mr. Chasen, C-H-A-S-E-N Smith. These guys know the ins and outs. They're knowledgeable about their product. Rex's Bar and Grill. We just had our birthday party there a couple of Saturdays ago. Rex Benson has done a fabulous job over there. That thing looks like it ought to be in Las Vegas. There's no telling how much money he spent. We're going to have our boxing and Cowtown program there in September. Who else? Railhead Barbecue, Charlie Guerin. He is our state representative. He's also on the board of Larry's Kids. We eat at his restaurant often. Charlie is involved in everything to do with Fort Worth and Tarrant County. Believe me. Brad is with Termite King Pest Control. I post this stuff as well as all the other sponsors all day long. He's got plans that'll fit your budget where you don't have any more issues with mice, rats, cockroaches, whatever. Rains Plumbing, that's a family-owned plumbing business. They are very conscious about their reputation, about customer satisfaction. Several of our members have used them. Cross Electric, Brandon Cross. They do commercial and residential. They were voted DFW's favorites. They do a good job. K-Ranch Roofing. Jorge Hernandez has been our roofing sponsor for several years. They repair roofs, they fix them, they put new roofs on. So here's the deal. You can't see your roof, so, and you know you're not going to get up there on a ladder and try to figure it out. Call K-Ranch Roofing. You'll get Bree, she is the office manager, and she will talk to you and set up a time where it's good for you and good for their employees or their experts. They'll come out, they'll look at your roof, they charge you nothing, and they'll tell you, hey, your roof's good, you don't have any problems. So you have no reason not to call. It's absolutely cost you nothing. So don't be scared of roofers or getting a second opinion or checking if you don't feel good, your body, we all know our bodies, if something's not right, go have it looked at. That waiting for the bad news to come is usually the wrong thing to do. We've already talked about Fort Worth Lumber, and I forgot to tell you, or didn't forget, they have been with me maybe 10 or 11 years. very active in the bicycle giveaway. Never missed writing a big check for it. Okay, Optimist Club of Fort Worth. They are a worldwide organization. Jeff Norman runs one of the ones here. One of the good things they do for us is they provide a Christmas tree every year at no charge. And Ginger Sanders decorates it every year at no charge and does a beautiful job. So a lot of times I fail to give Ginger and Sherry Holt and Bill Palmer, James Vincent, all of these individuals that really step up, Jeff Petrie. We've got a lot of people that really help. The person you always see is me, Scott Sumner, but it takes about 20 or 25 people to actually do the day-to-day and all the events, the luncheons. Then we have all of y'all. People say, I posted a little cuss word just to see if you could catch it. I've got 130,000 pairs of eyes. That's y'all. As soon as y'all see it, y'all hit report to admin, and guess what? You don't get to cuss on our group anymore. Robert Rivera is in. Ginger's in. So anyway, I always try to. Sherry Holt has been doing our birthday parties for years. Sandy Flowers and her group of Silver Sisters and Sherry Holt. There's a lot of work on the toy end of our bicycle giveaway, and that's a big job. They come over here, and as this museum fills up with toys and basketballs and footballs and radio controlled stuff, they go through it, they package it, they separate it, and it takes days, several times coming over here. Then they put it in boxes or bags, and then the day before the event, they come get it in all their cars, and then they're at the giveaway at 5 in the morning, getting set up. That's a big job. It's bigger than even the bicycles. So all of those individuals, Sherry, I think, has been with Sandy on that every year. Hey, and y'all try to reach out to, who's the little gal? Sherry? Toby. Let's get Toby back involved in this bicycle deal. Or the luncheons. Okay. What's next? Winstead Paint and Body. I've been doing business with them over 40 years, way before Clay was running it. They are located on White Settlement Road, 1 block west of Roberts Cutoff. Coburn's Catering, Steve Coburn. 3rd generation. They're over on North Main. When I was a kid, the only job I ever had was 15. I worked for one of my uncles. And he was on the east side of North Main. Right across the street was Coburn's Cafeteria. They had a full cafeteria back then. So the cafeteria went away and the catering stayed. So they've been there since 1946. You cannot have a party, event, group deal too big for them. They do the stock show every year, so that's well over 100,000 people. Old South Pancake House, 2 locations. The one on University is next to Rex's Bar and Grill. Rex Benson owns Old South also. The Benson family has owned Old South since 1962. The one in Burleson is not, the one on University is open 24/7. You can get breakfast any time of the day or night. The one in Burleson closes at 9 or 10 at night. Okay, let's talk about our central air and heat. A-Bird AC and Heating is owned by Dub Peacock, and yes, he's one of the Polly Peacock guys. He's usually always on our morning show. There's Robert. So one of our members said, well, how much does it cost to have him come out and look at my air conditioning set up. $95. That's pretty doggone cheap preventative maintenance. State Farm Insurance, that's Jenny Stewart. Now, the way I look at it, and I've got I'll look at it in a minute. They might need to send me a new card. I got to get my truck inspected. State Farm, Allstate, Farmers, they're all great companies. It's which one will provide the best coverage for you for the least amount of money. So it costs you absolutely zero to call Jenny's team at State Farm. Schwartz and Hanson, Jerry Schwartz. Last year he brought his father, who was 95, and we interviewed him. But Jerry is very, Schwartz and Hanson are architects. They're very active in the bicycle giveaway, and they've been sponsors for many years. Dickey Carr Sand and Gravel. If you're in the building business and you need sand, you want 50 dump truck loads full, Dickey Carr, Pat and Richard Carr. Grateful for Your Trees is a company owned by Dickey Carr, who's Richard's nephew. These guys do everything to do with trees. You can cut them down, trim them, grind the stumps down, but they do way more than that. They build retaining walls, they do bobcat work, they do practically flower beds, whatever you need done. So none of these sponsors can help you unless you make the first call. You've got to contact them. All Blue Mountain Cafes are sponsors of Fort Worth Memories. And Stinger's Bar and Grill is in Azle. That's the old Mark Dean barbecue place. They are also sponsors. They're owned by the same people that own Blue Mountain Cafes. Last but not least is Rockwood Go-Karts and Mini Golf. Now, not this Saturday, not tomorrow, but the Saturday week, they're going to drop the prices back to 1975. And believe me, this family has owned them since 1975. $1 for go-kart rides. Just on that Saturday. That's Saturday, August the 9th. They got food trucks going to be there. It's going to be a huge party. Get your kids. None of us can get on go-karts and do it, but we can play mini golf. Y'all want to get together and play mini golf? I hadn't done that since I was a kid. Okay. I've had about 5 people ask me if I ever heard from the family. I heard from the lady that I was talking to for 42 minutes. She is okay. She's in the hospital in Louisiana. Supposed to be able to go home tomorrow. It was a good thing we talked. This thing goes farther than what some of y'all might think. She was scared to death. And I knew something was wrong when I never heard from the husband. Well, I know now. So anyway, I still want to do interviews with anybody, suicide prevention, mental health, any of that. Contact me. I don't know how to contact y'all. I had 5 phone numbers given to me. I left messages at every one of them, and not one single person called me. I don't understand that. Maybe the word's out. Don't call. Don't talk to Larry. He's a nut or something. I don't know. I have not heard back from Bud Kennedy. I'll get somebody on between today and Monday. Bud's shows he's home. He does his newspaper stuff, I guess, from the house. Okay, so we need a paint contractor. We need a auto mechanic in Fort Worth. A dentist. This ought to be a perfect deal for a dentist. $1,500 a year, and you're promoted in front of a couple of 100,000 people. I mean, you kidding me? It's $125 a month. If you're spending money on printed advertising or newspaper, you're throwing your money away. Okay, what do we want to talk about? Anybody got anything? I'm really interested in this DEI deal. What's going to happen on that? Somebody said something. Brittany said other cities have tried to disguise it and call it something else and they got busted. Yeah, I mean, our city leaders, surely you're not going to pull the wool over on this administration, the last administration, none of them. They got people that sit around all day figuring out who's trying to get to them. Okay, so no, I gotta mess it up. Somebody told you that that's correct. You'd still attempt the go-karts? Yeah, well, Marilyn, you gotta, you're slim and fit. Heck, if some of us bigger people got in one of those go-karts, you'd need two people to help us get out of it. Okay, somebody just messaged me. You heard that I got to see Otis Redding, one of the last performances. That's correct. I was a collector for Mr. Benson, and his clients, his customers were bankers, lawyers, presidents of companies. So one of his players was the president of Ridgely State Bank. He did not want me coming over there, just maybe bad optics, because when I walked in back then, they knew I'm there to collect money from somebody. So I would meet him at Ridgely Country Club. Well, in 1967, now I'm a kid, I'm 17, 18 years old, I guess I was 18 at that time. I walked into Ridgely Country Club and to the men's grill, and the lady said, Larry, and I'm not going to say his name, the person I was waiting on is going to be a little bit late, so would you like to sit and wait? Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm at the bar. There's a African American gentleman that sits next to me, and neither one of us say anything at first. And I kind of thought, this is odd. I'm absolutely positive there's no African American members of Ridgely Country Club in 1967. And he was not wearing a Ridgely Country Club employee uniform like porters and stuff like that. So I turned around. Well, what happened is I picked my drink up. I think it was drinking Coca-Cola, and the napkin stuck to the bottom of it, how they do. And I went to pull it off, and it fell right in front of him. And I thought, oh gosh. So anyway, he picked it up and said, here you go. So we started talking, and about that time, another guy that was in his band, I found out later, came over and said, okay, we're ready to set up. And they played at Ridgely Country Club, and that would have been in October or November of 1967. And 30 days later, he died in the plane crash. He was a nice guy, big guy, really a nice guy. So yes, that's true. I'm probably one of the only people to maybe talk to him, person to person. He told me that of his group and this, that, and the other, and he was young. I mean, the guy was young. But that's a true story. That's in the book coming up. We ought to name that book The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. There'll be some people that are not happy with that book, but what the heck, it needs to come out. I'm way ahead of the Ghost Rider, or Riders, and I'm not sure they're going to continue on with the project. They're not moving as fast as I want them to move. Anyway, anybody else got anything? James is in. Well, hey, that's all right, Marilyn. We can have a party at the go-kart track. The only problem is there's no, that I know of, there's no place to sit that's covered. What year? That was in 1967. And so it was, I think October or November. Hold on, I'll find out when he died. It was exactly 30 days before he died. Or 31. Otis Redding. That didn't work. Otis Redding. He died December 10th of 1967. What year did Otis Redding play at Ridgely Country Club in Fort Worth? November 10th, 1967. Otis Redding performed at Ridgely Country Club in Fort Worth. The Barkays, that was the name of his band. The performance was just a month before the tragic death in a plane on December 10th. 30 days. In fact, you can Google it and you can pull up the contract. One of the Moncriefs was the guy in charge at Ridgely that signed the contract. I think it's $25,000. Otis Redding was a hot item. You know, and a lot of people don't realize those songs, he wrote them. Sitting on the dock of the bay and all of that stuff. Yeah, he was something else. If he would have lived, there's no telling how big he could have gotten. Okay, anybody else? Parton's Pizza, Saturday, 1 o'clock. Okay, I'm gonna where what? Somebody sent me a message. Thought somebody sent me a message saying where we're going to eat tomorrow. We're eating at Parton's Pizza. The U.S. economy added 73,000 jobs, new positions in July. You know what, those governments and businesses, they can make numbers look any way you want them to look. Well, I don't know. Whoever sent me the message, it's Parton's Pizza. You know, Fats Domino, he used to play at the Skyliner and up and down Lancaster. Yep. Okay, boys and girls, I gotta go. I will see y'all on my first break. Poor people gotta work every day.